Welcome to the bold analysis, ladies and gentlemen. I have just come from Uhuru Gardens and attended the 60th birthday. That was the 60th Jamhuri Day celebrations. I realized it was very important. And that is why I also decided that after just shooting the other video that I shot as early as, that I did as early as 9, I decided just to get my way there. Even though I don't know why they even had to close Bagadio, because the president's convoy already shaenda. I don't know why some other Kenyans should not just be allowed to continue with their things. And so we had to go through Kibera, then get some parking there, then connect to Uhuru Gardens. And I want to make this analysis very analytical because I like doing it. It's very easy when you went and saw. Other than all this, you are seeing the social media places, people tweeting and people posting. I like it when it happens in Nairobi, it should always be there. And that is why Daktari Kimogol, that's why when you are calling me, I could not receive because hapo kulikuwa na kelele sana, by the way. I need to explain that. I know you wanted to talk to me about it. There are some 5 observations I made in Uhuru Gardens, and I'll make it very objective on this. Number 1 is the attendance optics. By the way, me arrived after Uhuru Kenyatta, not Uhuru Kenyatta, after William Ruto convoy had arrived there, because I went a bit late. I think the lingia a bit later, somewhere around 11 or so. And when I got there, those who were giving directions where you head were actually NYS. After getting all those entrances, then there was the NYS guys. And I tried, because I saw where those classified audience were, and I tried getting, and I was directed somewhere else. Now, there is this video here. And this video is where I want to say William Ruto should not live on rented air, but on reality. Because state operatives stage managed some attendance optics and, just to create a perception. And immediately they did an excerpt of that video and started shouting about it. Now, this is the video when William Ruto was leaving State House, coming to the Uhuru Gardens. And, the convoy was coming and people were, of course, the MC was explaining to the people what was arriving, that they were expecting the president. Now, when the president arrived, when the convoy was negotiating its way to the stadium, this is the reception. And I want you to watch this video keenly, because there is an observation I want us to make here.
Naomba sote tumkaribishe Mheshimiwa Rais hapa uwanjani kiongozwa na bendi yetu ya Maroon Commandos. Karibu Mheshimiwa Rais, utuongoze.
So, let me tell you, this group here are actually kids. These were kids, school-going children, who were supposed to be in school, by the way. And if you just want to know, I remember, I was putting on this green one, and one of the reason, this jersey here, Kenya, the reason why I was doing it, because we've been told that we needed to rock the jersey, make it easy, and so I decided, when I do this, maybe I'll get some good place to sit. Already I was getting late. So, hapo hata haungeka. And someone went and hired, not even hired, mobilize these children, and they were put in that strategic place so that when the president's convoy was coming, they're going to, they were chanting Ruto, 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 Ruto. And those who organized it, they were very keen. What they wanted is just to create the stadium, to create the mood in the stadium. Because they knew, of course, these kids were here, but just behind there were also some other adults. So the more this will start, they knew it was going to create a euphoria around the stadium. That is not the case. That was not the case. And immediately that video came out, I have been seeing pro-Ruto bloggers saying the way vitu kwa ground ni tofauti, that unlike the complaints that things are bad in the country, people are embracing Ruto, Tano Tena, and it's been a campaign, some campaign with euphoria that Ruto is getting acceptance from children. No. Ruto, hawa wamekudanganya. This, if the people that organize this, hawa wamekudanganya. Because I want to show you. Look at that attendance. And do you know that that place was full? And I understand, the NYS guy, I talked to him and I was asking him, some guy there, so uko mbona siwezi ingia? Akaniambia, that place was full as early as 9. So uko mtu hawezi ingia. And it was already saved, it was already, it was set for that. Now, on the other side, I want you to look at this other video. This is another video of empty chairs. On the other side, contrary to what you are seeing, there were empty chairs here, and because this part, unajua, when people are normally organizing for these events, apart from ile number unajua, these kids from this school, there was another team that was mobilized that attended the youth summit, the youth connect. It's normally an East African event, by the way. It's not an exclusively Kenyan event. It's normally an East African event, but it was hosted here this time. So all those who were asked to attend, and I think they were given some stipends, so they were just going for some party or so. Contrary to that, there is this other space that was just made for any other person. So actually, ungeingia late huko ndo ulikuwa unaenda. That place was empty. Those are the seats we're seeing. Those seats were empty. And that is why I'm saying, on attendance, I don't want to say that Kenyans did not come out. Kenyans attended it. Of course, across Kenyans attendance, people went. It's a holiday, and people just want to, they just want to see, just want to hear what the president is going to say. Is there anything new? And they came out. But on stage managing this, then coming out to start saying, 10 years, and it's, watoto. No, Ruto, bana, you are beyond that. I know. Now, that is one observation I made. Number 2 is the Jamhuri theme. Did we have the theme of that? I listened to the entertainment part, and I like the Terence creative part when he was doing the wash one, because it was not themed on Jamhuri Day, but it was just reminding the president about the money laundering. I think you can get that soundbite here.
Filamu moja amejitokeza na njia zake za kipekee, anajulikana kama vile Papa Freddy amependa ngamwaya. Bonjour président excellency, kumejua Papa Freddy ninafanya business legit Nairobi na international, ndio kemikali yangu special. Kama unapata pesa kidogo ningamwaya, ili kemikali ndani ya pesa napata pesa mingi. Singalipa deni IMF, ningalipa deni World Bank. Kama pesa ngabaki singawagawana kila mzima, kila mtu 2 milioni. Kama unapenda idea, tuna telefoni yangu, tufanye business legit baba. Kenya at 60.
Now, apart from the Mara Daima song, what else was themed on Jamhuri Day? In fact, even if you listen to Kenya, it was more of Kenya at 60 than inclined towards youth and digital space or something. But I did not see the spirit of Jamhuri Day, because what Kenyans would what I was actually expecting is a feel of patriotism. We're remembering 60 years ago. So what I would even expect is in the screen, if we can do a history of the country, just a short video about the history of the country. And remember, like, that place where we were holding that event is a historic event. Uhuru Gardens is where King Charles visited. And he visited the cemetery, where the warriors that fought for the World War, for the country, some of them were buried there. So what would you expect? If it was really Kenya at 60, we needed to see a short video of the Jomo Kenyatta and the independence story and all that, like it used to happen during Uhuru Kenyatta time. But that was not the case. In fact, the only person that mentioned Jomo Kenyatta, the only two speakers that acknowledged the contribution of Jomo Kenyatta in our fight for independence, that was Johnson Sakaja, the Nairobi governor, and Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, the speech that was read by the deputy prime minister, who represented Museveni in that event. Those are the only two people. Not even Rigathi Gachagua, the son of Mau Mau, recognized the fight for Mau Mau in independence. Not even the president in his speech mentioned anything to do with our independence. In fact, most of his speech was rich into other things, but I don't want to still delve deep on that because I still have a point on it. Now, that was on the Jamhuri theme. The third observation I made, and I know this one I even checked, when I came home I realized there was a diplomatic snub. I was paying attention to this the envoys that were going to be there. Because the last Mashujaa Day that we held in Kericho Green Stadium, our chief guest was in the country but did not attend, the Angolan president. Now today, I realized that even the committee or William Ruto and the Kenya Kwanza administration, they tried their level best to bring in East African member countries, to send invitation to East African member countries to attend that celebration. And that probably was informed by the latest discussion about the bad blood between William Ruto and a host of other presidents, or rather with the other East African countries. So, who was invited? Museveni was invited and did not attend. In fact, he was represented by the Deputy Prime Minister. In Tanzania, something happened. Samia Suluhu was invited, but Samia Suluhu did not attend. In fact, she was represented by her deputy, and I took some keen interest in her speech, and this is something that I think even us as a country we need to learn. She said that her deputy said that she could not come to the country because of the flooding that has affected parts of Tanzania, and she's attending to that. I took keen interest on that. Of course, if you Google Tanzania, there are some parts that have really been experiencing the floods, I think in respect to El Nino. And I paid more attention because even as in a country here, we've been having this flooding problem, but we've not seen William Ruto, giving the country a priority. She said, I want you to imagine, switch those roles, and imagine William Ruto was invited a state visit in Tanzania, and there is a flooding in the country. Do you think he will cancel? No. We've not seen him cancelling anything in the priority to the country. So, she did not. Then Burundi president, is it Burundi? Yes, Burundi, was also invited, also skipped, and was represented by the deputy. So the only African president who attended was the Ethiopian president. But in the East African community, no single president attended. Remember, this is coming at a time, and the reason why I think even William Ruto was trying to push this, is because of the northern and the central corridor fallout. Uganda, Tanzania, and Burundi and Sudan met and were pushing to abandon the northern corridor that passes through Kenya in transporting their oil imports, so that they use the central corridor that goes through Tanzania. And that has come at a time when even Uganda was threatening, not even threatening, even announced that they will stop buying oil from Kenya because of G2G. So in the result, for the last 1 month, that is a discussion that has been going on that probably things are not right. And that is why William Ruto tried to bring the East African presidents from the East African space to this event, but that did not happen. I wanted to listen to a snippet of that speech from the Tanzanian and Uganda.
Mheshimiwa Dr. Samia Suluhu Hassan, Rais wa Jamhuri ya Muungano wa Tanzania, alitamani sana awepo kuhudhuria sherehe hizi. Hata hivyo, kutokana na athari kubwa za mafuriko yaliyoikumba nchi yetu upande wa kaskazini, ameshindwa kuja yeye mwenyewe na ameniagiza nije nimwakilishe. Kwa niaba ya serikali pamoja na wananchi wote wa Jamhuri ya Muungano wa Tanzania, napenda nitumie fursa hii kutoa pongezi nyingi kwa serikali na wananchi wa Kenya kwa kuadhimisha siku hii ya kihistoria kwa taifa lenu. Kipekee naipongeza sana serikali na wananchi wa Kenya kwa mafanikio makubwa mlioyapata katika kipindi cha miaka 60 iliyopita. Kwa hakika mmepiga hatua kubwa sana. Kenya ya sasa sio sawa na Kenya ya mwaka 1963. Na sisi wa Tanzania tunafarijika sana kuona kuwa chini ya uongozi wako Mheshimiwa Rais Dr. Ruto, Kenya inazidi kusonga mbele.
I therefore would like to recognize Kenya's unique contribution as a frontline state in the liberation struggles. I would like to pay special tribute to Mzee Jomo Kenyatta, the founding father and first president of the Republic of Kenya, for his courageous and heroic role in the freedom struggle within the region and beyond. With our people's civil wars and liberation struggles of the last 70 years, the ideological landscape of the area has changed. This ideological change has, however, not yet been translated into a political union that some of our leaders, like Nkrumah, Nyerere, and Kenyatta, had envisaged at independence.
So that was third interpretation, that's a third observation. The fourth, Ruto's messaging. Yes, and in fact, the main reason why I went, the main objective, what Kenyans, what everyone else wanted to hear is, what is Ruto saying about this? What is Ruto saying about that? What is Ruto saying about that other one? So his speech was heavy and was deep on what I am doing for the country, what he believes he's doing. And also on the other part, I noted something on governance. So apparently, I don't think that speech, it's a bit, Ruto speeches have become so predictable. And I think the people that are working on what Ruto is coming to say to the public needs to be a little bit more creative. Those speeches have become more predictable because they're more about the fertilizer, they're more about the economy, what we are doing, they're more about the cost of hunger has gone down, they're more about bipartisan talks. Those things, Ruto said those things. There is no difference between that speech and what he said during the State of the Nation. I don't know whether he just takes every national holiday or any event when the cameras are on to tell the country, to try to convince the country. Two things I noticed. One, he has said that economy has stabilized, and two, that Parliament is now most independent as we speak now. So Parliament passed finance bill under political pressure, and even as we speak now, Rigathi Gachagua was telling us that Ruto cannot achieve anything in the next 5 years and need to serve his 10 years. But Ruto has told us that economy is stable. Guys, listen to that.
Taking for the past year, our focus has been firmly about the ways and means to transform our economy, making the right decisions, necessary sacrifices, and smart choices to set Kenya on a path of economic renaissance. This transformation began with all of us as the people of Kenya making immense sacrifices and huge contributions together to pull back our country from the brink of debt distress. The greatness and patriotic devotion of the people of Kenya have been on display during the past year. Together, we have made the right choices, sometimes taken very difficult and painful decisions to steer Kenya back from the edge of a catastrophic cliff of debt distress and move our country in a new direction. There is every reason to believe that without serious sacrifices and hard work over the past year, the crises, threats, and challenges in the global economic and geopolitical environment confronting us would have overwhelmed us, as indeed it has many countries. We have had to make our contribution to the struggle for the nation's economic sovereignty. We have had to cut back significantly on expenditure and to defer the implementation of critical development programs to stabilize our economy. The policy measures required to mobilize necessary revenues have been difficult, but they were our only way and means of escape. Though painful, the sacrifices we have made, which would not only make our freedom fighters proud, are also absolutely necessary at a time as this and in situations that we find ourselves, and is the guarantee of our nation's economic stability. Proudly, these sacrifices have paid off. I can now confirm, without fear of any contradiction, that Kenya is safely out of the danger of debt distress.
So I took that because economy is stable, but as we speak, counties are yet to receive their disbursement for October and November. Economy is stable, as William Ruto is saying, but the Treasury CS is admitting live on camera that government is struggling to pay salaries. I don't know. Economy is stable, but government on the other side is struggling. And the Treasury is been saying that we need to tighten our belt. Government is struggling, but we have frequent power blackouts that allegedly are caused by tired power lines, or rather defunct power lines, and we cannot make them. Our roads, our road network, despite of the promise, we've launched quite a number, but those projects have remained idle. But on that end, our economy is now stable. Our economy is stable, and we're still struggling with pending bills. Contractors cannot go back to work because the government still owes them money. You know, I want to say something here that there is an observation I made there, and I think that which William Ruto must get right. In my engagements, I tried asking about, what about the cost of unga? It is indeed true that the cost of unga has gone down to 140, between 140 to 170. But do you know that we just harvested and we're also harvesting? Yes, we just harvested and we're getting to harvest. The Kenyan problem doesn't start and end with ugali. That is what I can say. I think when you talk to people, they're more worried. Like, for example, we are in December, but they're more worried about school fees for the children. They're more worried about the jobs. They're more worried about what is tomorrow. They're more worried about things that, not just about food. So I think as we look through this, we must really put our acts together. On some fronts, I think there's some two good takeaways that I can see there. Instead, in terms of organization and even the venue, it was wise to choose Uhuru Gardens as the venue for Jamhuri Day, because I think it fits the theme. It fits the theme of Jamhuri Day. Number two, also trying to, there was an announcement, also trying to collect, the plus for the online, for the digital creation team, where they were saying that, you know, Facebook has agreed Meta has agreed to monetize Facebook content. It's a plus. I think it's a plus. It's a good news that can come during a Jamhuri day, maybe, yes, because of many people are doing good content in Facebook, but I know us in that space we've been trying to make to monetize, and it has not been easy. So that is something that you cannot underestimate. It's something that is actually recommendable. Ladies and gentlemen, that is my take on what happened, and I still insist that the Kenyan bloggers, the government bloggers who are, you know, reminding us about Kenya, Ruto Kumi, surely you cannot go and plant children at the gate of Uhuru Gardens so that you come and start yelling and saying that, you know, Kenyans have accepted. I don't think that's it. For me, it's a bit, even if it was a propaganda, there is a way you would have done it well. You will still pay people from these ghettos and fill them kwa bus and then pay them. They will still do it. You still come out. But children, I know. It doesn't happen that way. And everyone else knows, because today we are in December and schools have closed. So this is something that we just mobilized. Okay, thank you guys. I have a next video on some cartels I think William Ruto must fight as Kenya celebrates 60.